Hi Libra. So I will be doing both a general and a love reading. So feel free to skip to any parts if you want, especially if you don't want to watch me shuffle. But I just like to do it so that you know that I am hearing the message right when you are. So just watch it whenever you want. Oh, might be feeling a little defensive. Okay, let's go. As with everything, all readings are general. So some messages may not apply. Take what resonates. I'm going to try to give as many perspectives as I can based on each scenario, as long as it makes sense. But don't try to force anything if it doesn't. It's been kind of an interesting time. Normally I do tarot reading as a personal prayer to my grandmother, to speak with her. But since I have a lot more time on my hands, I've been kind of wanting to do readings for public. I am by no means a professional tarot reader. Once again, this is very personal for me. So these are messages that I receive from my personal ancestors. And if they can help you, then that's great. But we will see. This first spread, one more card, one of mouse forward. This first spread is a general spread. And it's kind of supposed to dictate how you're feeling in May. And you might be indecisive. So you have the Five of Swords at the bottom of the deck. Let's just take a peek. You have Five of Pentacles, Judgment, Seven of Cups. Yeah, I think you're kind of focused on what are your options? How should you strategize on what's the best course of action for you? And that could just in itself be hard to dictate. But from quick glance here, I think you're doing okay. We have, starting out, we have the High Priestess, the Hangman, and the Fool for probably the beginning of May. I think like most other people, you are in a limbo period. You're trying to keep to yourself. You're trying to be savvy about what you should do for the upcoming weeks. And some of you may be a little bit more spiritual. Some of you may be dealing with a Pisces. Especially because you have the High Priestess, the Hangman, and the Fool. Or even an Aries or a Leo. But I don't really like to give too many signs because I think that's almost hard to say because people's birth charts are so different. But you are really trying to keep it to yourself. I don't think you're trying to make any hasty movement, even though movement is coming towards you in a way. You have a lot of people. I think, yeah, you have a lot of people. You have the Emperor in reverse, High Priestess, Hangman, Fool, Queen of Wands, Ten of Cups, King of Wands in reverse. Both of these two are in reverse. Knight of Cups, Justice, Two of Pentacles. So it's interesting that towards the end of May, like the last week of May, there's some sort of separation going on. And maybe huge, maybe like a divorce for some of you. But oddly enough, it doesn't feel bad. I think some of you have been waiting a long time to have that happen. and and even though the Ten of Cups is such a family card, I think you've been trying to get this to happen for a long time, especially because it's next to Justice, and you've had the Knight of Pentacles in reverse here and in limbo. Like this whole cross section right here. I think for some of you Libras, you have been waiting a long time for a divorce to settle, and it just felt like it never was going to. And whether it was because this person was stubborn or some secrets had to come out to light and it affected the case or something. But I don't know if it'll necessarily happen in May. It may happen more in June or the summer. I think it'll happen more in the summer. But it's gonna get settled. I would not mess around with people coming towards you. And I don't think you are either. So I think you're going to be rejecting some offers this month. Whether it's a person who just is bored, they're just wanting to talk to someone and they're using you to talk to, or they have some feelings but they're just not on your level. You're not really matching with them in a way that feels comfortable for you. Now you're entering June and you're ending May feeling like you have a decision to make, or that you're trying to find balance between situation in your life. And I think that has to do with how people are interacting in your life. So I mentioned a divorce for one type of Libra, but for other people who aren't even married, or maybe they're not even in a relationship whatsoever, I think you also are letting go of some relationship that you may have fantasized so hard on, and you're realizing that it was based on lust and not actual reality. Like if this person, like if you were separated from a person and they come back and they give you a message and it's still like the same bland messages that they always give you, there's no sense of emotion or love attached to it. It's just like they're talking to you for the sake of their own ego. Like they just want someone to make them feel validated that someone still likes them, and you realize that like they're not here for you, you know? They're not here to empower you. They're not here to match your spiritual journey. They're not in love with you. Like they're very fickle. And that message, if that comes to you, is kind of like the spark. So like what you felt in the past, that, or what you might think in the beginning is, oh dang, like I'll never find someone, I'm like, it's not a new beginning, they failed me, like they're not who I thought they were. It's kind of a blessing in disguise, because for some of you Libras, you could have been in this limbo period because of the fact that you may have been slightly obsessed with them, but it's more like you were infatuated with them, and you realize after this, especially if they've been like stringing you along for a long period of time, or if they ghosted you and then come back and it's like your closure, you know, that here you were hoping for a new beginning, wondering why it's not happening, and you were waiting for this person, and that was it. Like they didn't even try. Like they just their inherent like underwhelming message is the realization that like, hey, I need to focus on myself, not this loser that's coming into my life that's not going to give me what I want. And it's a hard choice, because that then begs the question of like, well, what do I look for now? Like, do I just stay single and just enjoy that? Like, maybe it feels like you have to keep being celibate, or you have to like embody this I love myself and only myself, and it's not necessary like to just ward off love from your life, but you could be feeling that like, oh, this didn't really work out, so I just need to be single for a while. And you may enter June just like on that platform of like, is that what I want to do, or do I want to try love again? And I think you do. Like I think you'll feel a little bit abandoned here, but again, like you, like as the sneak peek over here with the Five of Swords and the Five of Pentacles and Judgment, and then Seven of Cups, is that this is the you ultimately you get the message that finally makes it clear to you that you need to explore your options, and you're going to feel confused about it, and you may not end up taking any action of it, and it may just feel like just failure all around. But I don't think you have to look at it in that perspective. I think focus on the fact that you're going to get closure in May. And it may hurt. It may feel like the love has died. You may not feel as confident in yourself because of it. But no. Don't allow someone else to have that kind of power over you when you are capable of being an ascended being, you know? Like you have the ability to weigh your options and understand them clearer once you know what they are. I think a lot of people give Libras flack for the fact that they're indecisive, but that's not it. It's the fact that Libras like to know what all of their options are and weigh out the pros and cons. And because they can look at a situation so analytically, it just ends up taking a long time for them to make a decision, because there's so many routes to go. But when you find that kind of clear route that's so obvious, like that's the best route, like this is a waste of your time, this is what is good for me. Libras they're not indecisive about that. They recognize what's good for them. So I would take that as a win. It's gonna sting, but it'll be good for you. Don't worry too much. Your mentality, we're going to do a comparison between you and your partner, or a person you're thinking about. Your mentality is you're in the Ace of Swords. Yeah, like I think May's going to give you the kind of clarity that you need about this person. And their mentality is the Four of Pentacles in reverse. So they're kind of I think they're going to that could be taken in multiple ways. I feel like if they've been holding their feelings inside a lot, they might accidentally show their true colors. I don't think they do it on purpose. I think the fact that whatever message they give you just shows that it's not as authentic as maybe they tried to portray themselves as. And you realize that so quickly. So I want to make it clear that that doesn't necessarily mean that they're a bad person either. It's just they're not serious. I feel like it's just more of like if they have the fear of commitment because they don't like giving anybody else control. Sometimes it just looks like, oh, okay, so you've been wasting my time because you still need to do a lot of work on yourself. And that could be the situation. Especially if you're dealing with an earth sign. That didn't fall out right. I think in a world where everything is so unclear at this moment, especially if you're looking for stability in some aspect of your life. And also, it doesn't have to be a partner. It could be like your manager. Like maybe you've been waiting to hear back from them if you even have a job, and they've just been leaving you out in the cold. And then they finally give you a message and you realize, oh, so I've been wasting my time with this job when I could have just been doing something else. And that decision, if you get to that, it's hard because it's like, what do I do now? Like, do I just get another job? And it's understandable that you would be frustrated with this. So if you're looking at this, like this partner aspect as what your job could be, that is also a valid concern on your mind. That your job may not be respecting you as an employee or part of the situation. Bottom of the deck is you have King of Pentacles in reverse. And to go into more detail about that, I think for those of you who are concerned about your finances, you're realizing this job is not going to cut it. They're not going to stay by your side or help you out, even though many people in the world right now need help or some sort of loyalty by their employer, which, I mean, that's coming from a place as if the employer is doing it maliciously against you, like they're worried about their money and their profits, and it could be a situation that they just can't afford it, and you are more frustrated that they didn't warn you sooner and that you waited too long. If it's about a partner, then it could be the fact that this person is not that serious. They are not going to give you the commitment that you want. They're not going to be that family person that you want. That they're not there yet. So on your situation, you have the Queen of Cups, the Two of Wands, Seven of Swords, Three of Wands, Ten of Cups in reverse, interesting, and Ace of Pentacles. So on your side, you're focused on maintaining stability on your behalf. And I want to stick back to that message that comes back to you, that it may feel like a betrayal, but I think it's just an understanding that, like, you then go forward and understand that you need to take action. This isn't going to give you the fulfillment. It's not going to continue giving you money or new opportunities. Like, there's no chance of growing with them. And your need, oh, I forgot to get also conflict. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Your conflict is King of Swords. As I was saying, your need for maintaining a stable life is more dependent on you accepting that you have to move forward and move on. You get your truth, you start planning, you take action. Let go. Whoever is not being serious, whoever is trying to like weasel their way out of a situation, whoever is trying to kind of one up you, or they're not giving you the clear-cut answer, that's the answer, okay? So if your job is being vague with you, if your partner is being vague with you, and all you're asking is just a simple yes or no question, are we in a relationship? Am I still employed? Whatever the situation is, if they're being vague about it, the answer is no, okay? Don't waste your time with them. I cannot stress that enough. I think King of Swords in reverse is the conflict. They are not being upfront with you. They're trying to hold everything in, but in the fact that they hold everything in, they are revealing their true colors because they're not doing any action. Their situation over here is they have the Queen of Swords. They're being defensive. They're being cold. They're not saying anything to you. Temperance. They could be they're taking too long to respond. You have the Seven of Cups. And this could be they're confused. They're trying to weigh their options. Four of Swords, Ten of Swords, Ace of Wands. Like, I think when it comes, even in both scenarios, if it's your job or if it's your partner, they are trying to figure things out, but they are stressed as hell. They know that it's coming to an end. They're basically waiting for the impending doom, and they're trying to come up with a new idea. But in that process, they're not communicating with you, which is not fair to you. Like, I mean, whether it's the employer trying to figure their things out before they come to you and tell you what the update is, you can't wait around for them, you know? And it's the same thing if it's your partner. This partner may be trying to figure out what they want in their life, what they want in a relationship, whether they do want a relationship, but in their own angst and solitude and lack of communication, and almost as if like refusing to acknowledge that these are concerns that they need to address. They're just kind of hoping that some burst of motivation, burst of luck is going to come into their life, and then once that happens, things will go back to normal. And to put you in a place that you're just waiting around for them is not fair. Like, you shouldn't be in that limbo period. If they're just going to be underwhelming, that they're not going to take any action, that they're just going to just kind of sit there until things resolve themselves. I mean, it's even worse if they expect you to resolve things for them, because you're not going to do that. You're focused on yourself. If they're not willing to be an active team member and achieving that kind of wish fulfillment and offer something of value to you, then you're going to move on. I would advise you to move on. This person, I think, is just caught up in their head and stress without trying to make things better. They're just hoping that things will magically get better, even though they're doing no work toward it. And that's not, like, nobody's got time for that. Like, we're all everybody has their own stress. And especially if you've been reaching out to them and trying to communicate with them, and they're just not good. That was the King of Swords, by the way. I think, yeah, you've been trying to talk with them, and they're just refusing to. What are they going to reveal to you that what are they going to reveal to you? Some sort of secret. It could be that they do actually mention that thing. I wouldn't be surprised if they say anything about what they're thinking about, that they're just saying, hey, I'm going through a rough time, but I miss you. I've been thinking about you. You know, it's a very Page of Chalices over here. Like, if you get like a 2 a.m. text being like, I miss you, what's going on, like, make me feel better, like, that's all it is. Like, it is definitely just lust. They're too caught up in their own concerns than to actually give you some value. And that sounds harsh, but I just think they're not taking it seriously. They're not taking anything in their life seriously. I think they're too stressed out that they're scared to even do that. I'm gonna focus on the 10 of 10 because they feel trapped, and I don't know. They could feel claustrophobic because they've been inside for too long if they've been quarantining the whole time. They have the Hermit in reverse and the Hierophant in reverse. Yeah, I think if they do reach out, it is because they're getting cabin fever, they're bored as hell, and they're just trying to have you entertain them. But that's not what you need right now. You want commitment. You want to actually talk things out. 5 of Pentacles. Yeah, they keep leaving you in the cold. They're not giving you commitment. They're not growing spiritually. What are they confused about? They have 8 of Pentacles. They're probably focused on their work, lack of work, if they lost their job. They have 2 of Swords, making a decision. 3 of Wands, not taking action. I don't think they're ever going to make a move. What are they hoping for? Ace of Wands. Oh, we had... There's also the Fool in reverse. Yeah, there's no new beginnings from this person. Ace of Swords. They could be avoiding this conversation, and in their efforts to avoid it, you get the answer you need. I think Knight of Swords in reverse. I think they're hoping things would go slow. Oh. And Ace of Pentacles in reverse. I think that definitely speaks to the fact that they are more focused with their physical world or their physical desires over their money, over any sort of connection they have with others, over truth. This person is not... Whereas you are more spiritual, or you are focused more on your mental health and your well-being and addressing like, hey, there are real problems out here, but I'm going to do the work to resolve them. This person is in total denial. Like they want to sit around and let the world fix itself. They're kind of like that person where if I just don't do anything, then that means that I won't do anything wrong, and so I won't get harmed. But inaction can be just as harmful, and where it's going to be harmful towards them is that you're going to realize that they're not moving. They're just going to stay where they are. The only thing they're moving is their body. Like, I mean, they got Ace of Wands twice, so they're only offering sex. Like, that's it. You want a mental connection? No. You want financial help? No. You want the honesty? No. Like, you're not getting it from this person. I think it's pretty straightforward, but I'm going to ask what is the kind of truth you really need to hear. 2 of Cups in reverse. That it's over. I mean, that's so obvious. And they're a waste of your time, Libra. I don't want to be so harsh about it, but they're just a waste of your time. Like, when you seem like you are in a place where you're doing what's best for you. And if you are focused on what's best for you, also be focused on who is best for you. And this person ain't it. There's someone else out there. They may be hot. The sex may be great if you're having sex. They may be fun, but that's all they are. They're just fun. 2 of Cups in reverse, yep. I think it's going to lead to a separation in May. I'm sorry. Breakups suck. Even when you know that you don't want to bother. Ooh. But you got five of seed. Yeah, you're thinking about what's best for you. It may be cutting people off. Cut this person off. You have the King of Swords. You gotta be harsh. King of Swords in reverse is your conflict. King of Swords right side is what you have to do. You gotta cut someone out. Like, there's no playing games. They're not gonna serve you. You're not gonna serve them. Oops. And once you realize that, 4 of Wands, you will find harmony. This person is holding you back. It can't get more obvious than that. Break up with them. Do what's best for you. Be honest. Cut them out. Get harmony. That's it, Libra. Once you get the choice, once the path looks super clear to you, make the choice. No more dilly-dallying, okay? I wish you the best of luck. Don't feel bad. I would not feel bad about this situation. And it's the same thing if it's a job. If this job is not valuing you for your worth, cut them out. There are other jobs out there. I know everybody's struggling and it looks scary. Definitely don't cut the job out until you get another place. I would advise that. But if you can't do it, they're just holding you back, just cut them out. Sometimes the answer really is that simple. And I think you already know it because they are not talking to you. So, you speak your truth, okay? Love you, Libra. Bye.